Welcome back to the Python Beginner's Guide, Lesson 2, and this is where your environment gets real. Most setup tutorials skip the gotchas: system Python conflicts, pip polluting your machine, path headaches that swallow an afternoon. We're doing the opposite, installing Python the senior way, locking in venv from the start, configuring your editor, and finishing with a sanity check. 4 steps, 30 focused minutes, and you'll have the same environment real teams ship with. So here's the map for the next 30 minutes. First, you'll install Python the right way for your OS. Homebrew on Mac, apt or DNF on Linux, the official installer on Windows. No system overwriting shortcuts. Then venv, the per-project isolation that prevents about 90% of the setup pain you've heard horror stories about. After that, pip, just 3 commands you'll use forever. And finally, your editor, configured properly, ending with a real Python file that actually runs. Step 1. Install Python. On Mac, run brew install Python at 3.12. Homebrew sets your path correctly, which the python.org installer famously doesn't. On Linux, sudo apt install python 3.12 plus python 3.12 venv, because Ubuntu and Debian don't ship venv by default, and that trips people up later. On Windows, grab the python.org installer, and this is the one you cannot miss. Check the Add Python to Path box during setup. Skip that, and every command from here on says Not Found. Verify with Python 3 version, and you're in. Now step 2. venv. Here's the problem it solves. Project A needs Django 4, Project B needs Django 5, and if you install both into your system Python, they fight and you lose. venv gives every project its own isolated Python with its own packages. 3 commands run it forever. Python 3 venv to create it, source.venv or bin activate on Mac or Linux, \scripts activate on Windows, and pip install whatever you need. The .venv prefix in your prompt confirms you're inside. When you're done, deactivate, and the senior reflex, add .venv/ to your gitignore. Never commit it. With your venv active, step 3 is pip, Python's package manager. It has dozens of flags, but honestly, 5 commands cover 95% of your daily work. Pip install adds a package, optionally pinned to a version like requests 2.32.0. Pip list shows what's in there. Pip freeze writes those exact versions into requirements. ext, that's your lock file, the file your teammates use with pip install R to recreate your exact environment. And pip uninstall removes a package cleanly. That's it. That's the kit. Step 4. The editor. 2 solid choices, and honestly, you can't pick wrong here. VS Code is free, open source, and the industry default. Pair it with Microsoft's Python extension, Pylance, Black Formatter, and Rough, and you've got a professional setup. Cursor is VS Code with AI baked in. Same extensions work, plus tab completion and codebase-aware chat for $20 a month. 1 tip. Don't go installing 5 random Python plugins you saw on a YouTube thumbnail. The 4 I just named are all you need. Now, here's the part most tutorials skip, actually proving the whole stack works. Activate your venv, pip install requests, then write 4 lines, import sys, import requests, and print both versions. Run it, and if you see Python 3.12 works and a requests version printed back, you've just verified all 4 layers in under a minute. If something's broken, it breaks here, loudly, instead of 2 hours into your first real project. Once that verification passes, you're ready to level up. Here are 6 habits that separate senior devs from tutorial followers. Start them on day 1. Gitignore your .venv folder before your first commit. Freeze your dependencies into requirements. txt so anyone can rebuild your environment, and stick with the built-in Python 3 venv instead of chasing fancier tools. Pin your Python version across the team to dodge version drift. Let Black and Rough auto-format on save so style debates die, and keep your terminal inside your editor. One window, one flow. Speaking of one flow, here's your reference card. 12 commands covering the full loop. Install Python on your OS. Create and activate a venv. Manage packages with pip. And lock everything down with requirements.txt and gitignore. Screenshot this slide or pin it somewhere visible. These are the muscle memory commands you'll run every single day as a Python developer. Now, before you start running those commands, let's talk about the 5 traps that have burned every Python developer at least once. Never pip install into system Python on Mac or Linux. You'll break OS tools. On Windows, tick that Add to Path checkbox, or you'll lose 2 hours. Always create a venv on day 1, always add it to gitignore, and always check for that venv prefix in your prompt before installing anything. Dodge these 5, and you've skipped weeks of hidden pain. Time to actually do the work. 3 exercises in order. First, install Python and verify with Python 3 version. You want 3.10 or higher. Second, create a practice folder, spin up your first venv, and pip install requests to confirm the whole chain works. Third, open it in VS Code or Cursor, point the interpreter at your venv, and run the sanity check from earlier. Finish these 3, and your foundation is locked in. And that's lesson 2 in the bag. Python installed, venv working, pip mastered, editor configured. You've got a real development environment set up the senior way. Next up, lesson 3, your first program. We'll move from the repl to print, variables, types, and actually running .py files. That's the shift from reading about Python to running it. See you there.